so much.
Probably the most famous of the 9/11 documentaries. So that's them being mentioned. So they tracked down Barry Jennings and interviewed him, and they got the stepping over dead bodies bit. And Barry Jennings later, I guess when he realized how damning the evidence that he had given was, he was reluctant to go on record about it. He sort of tried to recant his statement, and he also did say that he was getting like threats and things like that. So there was definitely pressure on him to not say what he was saying, and he was acquiescing to that pressure. And then he also, I don't know how mysterious you want to say a 52-year-old man dying of a heart attack is, but I mean it was questionable, to say the least.
So to make it clear, he was talking about being in the lobby, which is on the bottom or next to the bottom of the building.
Right. If my interpretation of his story is correct, he was being led out through the lobby area, maybe down some broken escalators or something, and across the floor of the lobby. And according to his statement, that he was being told, don't look down, and he was feeling what it feels like to be stepping on a body.
Right. And so he's talking about explosions, total destruction,
right,
dead bodies, way many floors down.
Right. At the lobby level, I think he said they got down to the 6th or 8th floor, and then there were explosions there, and they were blown back up. So, he's witnessing, and this, you got to realize the Tower 7 didn't fall till 5:20 in the afternoon, and they were trapped for the better portion of that. They were trapped all through the collapse of both towers, and I don't know how much longer they had to wait to be rescued, but a good part of the morning and maybe even the afternoon, they were stuck in that building, hearing explosions. Which I guess leads me on that sort of second level of 9/11 truth is, it says, was there something that was planned that maybe didn't go off 100%? Was there a piece of the puzzle that was missing? Was something supposed to happen to Building 7 that would have made it look visibly more like believable for it to fall? I don't know. Only speculating at that point.
Right. Possibly another plane was supposed to be flown in.
Correct. I mean, we do have a missing plane. I don't know though. But realistically, could a plane have even hit a 47-story building in Manhattan? I mean, 47-story building doesn't really stick out in Manhattan. It'll stick out in a lot of other major cities. But I don't know. If you want to talk about plane evidence, though, the real issue, and a great movie that I'm going to recommend is called In Plain Sight, 9/11 In Plain Sight, and they go into a lot of the different plane issues, but really the situation at the Pentagon, when you look at how that plane flew and who saw what, and different witnesses that are now on record, credible witnesses that are now on record. A great film that I'm going to recommend, I would say check out 9/11 In Plain Sight first, and then check out a more current film made by some, I think they're pretty young. I've heard them on interviews and stuff, but the name of the film is called National Security Alert. It's available for free. You can Google it and watch it for free on Google Videos, but it's a really good short film that really gets into the specifics of how that plane flew, on the official story of how it hit the Pentagon and where it was and what direction it went, and what people actually saw, and how those two things are completely contradictory.
Yeah, and I also believe that there's some experts that know about airplanes, because they did, there was wreckage there at the Pentagon. I know specifically one glaring example of people talking about this is an expert on airplanes that said the engine that was there was never used for that model of plane.
Yes, they do have a Rolls-Royce executive, and I think Loose Change got that on record as saying they'd got an executive of Rolls-Royce who made the engines of those 747s, 737s, and that guy said that is not apart from any Rolls-Royce engine that we make.
Right.
And I believe it may also be in the same version of Loose Change. They get another guy to say that rotor, the picture of the rotor that they're famously showing, he could positively identify it to some type of a fighter plane, which was only available, only Halliburton still had these planes apparently. I don't want to. I think there was something Warrior in the title of the plane, the name of the fighter jet. I don't know exactly the number and name of that plane, but you can look into it. I think it's mentioned in Loose Change Second Edition, maybe not in Final Cut, but if you check out Loose Change Second Edition, I think there's a lot of that Pentagon wreckage analysis. And I guess this is a good time to talk about what Donald Rumsfeld was doing. The head of basically the head of national security, the guy the go-to guy, the guy that everyone had to go through to get things moving as far as getting these potential other planes shot down. And it's Rumsfeld who is out on the Pentagon lawn helping people, getting in pictures, carrying people into ambulances and stuff. I mean, the guy who's really, his most important job is to stay in communication with all of his massive amounts of people, who decides to walk out the front door and start walking around the lawn picking up pieces of plane and helping injured people is absurd.
And why would anybody, even if they saw him doing it, wouldn't you think security officials would say, Donald, let's sit down here. You're supposed to be manning all this. Let somebody else deal with it. This is a national emergency. It's a terrorism attack. You could get shot or something.
Right. But it was very important that he get photographed out on that lawn so that it was understood. Well, he was there, and that's why certain things could not have occurred. But anyway, Barry Jennings.